Today, we take it for granted. Liberty. Freedom. It could have been quite different. And it almost was. Out of the carrion of World War I, a political infection spread throughout the world like a cancer. Banners. Trumpets. Scalding speeches. Ecstasies of national greatness. The cruel barbarism of the past is retooled by state-of-the-art technology. Manned by the jackbooted thugs that tyranny creates. Spreading from the beer cellars of Munich, the coffee bars of Rome, and the Shinto shrines of Tokyo, is a new heathenism with a pantheon of false gods. Adolf Hitler, a Moloch with unlimited power of life and death over his subjects. Benito Mussolini, who uses poison gas and modern aircraft to crush the barefoot, spear-carrying defenders of Ethiopia. Hirohito, a divine emperor of Japan, descendant of the sun goddess. To die for him is life's greatest honor. With increasing boldness, Hitler defies the strictures Germany agreed to in the Versailles Treaty after World War I. He reoccupies the coal-rich Rhineland. He marches into neighboring Austria without firing a shot. No one stops him. As a nation, Austria ceases to exist. He demands that the Sudetenland, a German-speaking province of Czechoslovakia, be turned over to Nazi Germany. The leaders of France and England, who should have come to the Czechs' aid, yield meekly to Hitler's demands. Then he invades Poland, beginning his blitzkrieg. Lightning War, with supermodern aircraft and crack tank troops. Panzers, against the gallant Poles defending their country with muskets and sabers. Poland falls. At last, France and Britain declare war on Germany, but do nothing to implement their declaration. Now he knifes his way into Scandinavia. Denmark doesn't resist. Norway is under his boot in 4 days. Holland is next. It surrenders. Belgium quits. Incredulously, France collapses. Hitler is unstoppable. Then, a reckless invasion of Russia. And the Germans find themselves fighting on a 2,000-mile front, from the Arctic to the Ukraine. Despite President Franklin D. Roosevelt's efforts to intervene, the United States is firmly isolationist, actually an impotent bystander. When warned that the fighting in Europe and Asia might spread to the New World, most Americans argue confidently, if not smugly, that America is safe. It lies guarded by two of the world's biggest bodies of water. American public opinion can't see beyond the oceans. The armed forces of Japan had swept into Manchuria as a launching site for a sudden invasion of China, which it accomplishes without warning and without a declaration of war. Washington reacts by halting its sale of gasoline and scrap metal to Japan, which it needs desperately to carry on its conquests. The Japanese are furious. When France falls to the Nazis, Japan invades French Indochina, today's Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. In the Nazi and Japanese victories, Franklin Roosevelt grasps the dangers to America. He realizes that it is vital for the British to hold out against Hitler until the U.S. is ready to face up to him. Thus, he manages to squeak by Congress and send aid under the guise of Bundles for Britain and Lend-Lease. Isolationists damn him as a warmonger. But the two broad protective oceans have shrunk. Wolf packs of German submarines, U-boats, sink every merchant vessel flying the stars and stripes they can hunt down. Daily, U-boats are blowing up American merchant ships off the coasts of Long Island, of Cape May, New Jersey. Then, December 7th of 1941. Out of clouds of secrecy, Japanese Zeros attack with deadly accuracy the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. (2,403 Americans are killed. When the Japanese bombers are finished, the United States no longer has a Pacific fleet. Americans are in a state of shock. In a remarkably short time, Japan occupies a tenth of the globe. Defeat after defeat. Today, it is difficult to contemplate the United States and its allies losing World War II. Had our enemies been victorious, had the Pacific remained a big Japanese lake, had Nazi Germany held on as master of continental Europe, conquered Britain, and turned a beaten Russia into a slave state, they would have outmanned us, outproduced us in the weapons of war, and outlasted us on the field of battle. Then, they had only to simultaneously dispatch their hordes of fighting men and fleets of bombers and armadas of warships. Germany from the Atlantic, Japan from the Pacific, and crush them like a crab crushing a shell with its claw. But America fought a seasoned enemy on both sides of the world, fought an enemy of skilled veterans, our citizen soldiers enduring not only enemy fire, but desert heat, and Arctic cold, and jungle run, up climbing at a crawling pace at first, from defeat to victory. If, in today's world, freedom can flourish and democracy thrive, it is so because of the men and women who fought this war against terrible odds and won it. In some 15 crucial battles which spelled the outcome of the war. How did they do it?